Welcome to the webinar, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. It's Dr. Krista. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us over lunch for another great webinar. Now, I know you guys are going to love this information, and it's going to be incredibly beneficial for you. If you've ever wanted to work with local businesses and corporations, then I'm going to share with you 3 strategies to get your foot in the door today. So we've done a lot of research on this. We've actually put together programs on this. We've done it ourselves. I've spoken at, I don't even know how many different corporations we've been to, over 100 probably. Everything from the International Bus Association to local gyms. We've done a lot of different corporation and different corporate talks. We've actually even done a whole pharmaceutical company. We even did a whole ergonomic assessment of their place as well. So we have a lot of experience in this field. And what I want to do today is to share with you my top 3 strategies to get you in the door for landing big corporate deals. All right, guys, as you're logging in, everybody, just let me know who you are and where you're from. Hello there. Everybody else, in your name, let us know where it is that you're listening in from. So we always have a fun group internationally. If you're international, then maybe it's evening time for you or early morning. If you're in the States with us, then it's going to be your lunch hour. So thanks for taking the time out of your lunch period today. Lynette from Tampa, Florida. Hello, Lynette. Thank you for joining us. Again, as you guys are logging on, just let us know who you are, where you're listening in from. And yeah, we want to know where you're from. Carol says, hello from Poland. So Carol, it's probably evening time over there for you. Thanks for joining in from Poland. We have Kim from Seattle. Seattle, very nice. Thank you for joining in. As you guys are logging in, just let us know who you are, where you're from. Matthew from Vancouver, British Columbia. I love Vancouver. Jason, DC, coming in from Tacoma, Washington. Very nice. Wilmer from Naples, Florida, another great spot. Marcia from Alberta, Canada. Rick from Trout Lake, Washington. So we always have a really cool to see where everybody's listening in. We always have an international group, people all over the United States. Ken from Chicago. Hi, Ken. Lynn from Illinois. Hello, Lynn. Elisa from Ontario. Grace from Edinburgh, Scotland. Now, I say this, but Edinburgh, Scotland is one of my favorite places ever. So that's great. I hope you guys are staying warm over there and enjoying your time over in Scotland. Also, another one from Edinburgh. So we have Kara from Edinburgh as well. All right, guys, thanks for taking the time out today. We are going to hop right in with the session. Again, the promise that I want to make to you is that you're going to leave this webinar understanding 3 solutions to get your foot in the door and land big corporate deals. Karen, and hello, hello, hello. Finland is another great spot, been there as well. Grace gives a smiley face, and Laura from Madison, Iowa. Lori from Madison, Iowa. I spent 4 years living in Iowa, going to Palmer College, so I've definitely put in time in Iowa. Prepare for winter. They get cold there, don't they? Michelle from Denver, Colorado, another great spot. All right, guys, let's dive right in. Thanks again for joining in. We have got some big information coming your way to get you guys to help you be successful. All right. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about with you guys is the ergonomics is so vitally important. So you guys have taken the time out of your day today to join us on an postural ergonomic webinar. And I appreciate you doing that because postural ergonomics is so fundamentally important. The more research that I do every day and the more that I see this in action, both from our experience as well as our students' experience, it is phenomenal to see the results that you can get with postural ergonomics. Now, here's the crazy thing is that all healthcare professionals worldwide completely agree that ergonomics is important. You wouldn't ever find a research study saying that ergonomics doesn't work. You wouldn't talk to a medical doctor, physical therapist, chiro, wellness coach, personal trainer, and nobody would say that ergonomics is not important. This is one of those things that we all 100% believe and know to be true, that ergonomics is absolutely fundamental to good health and wellness within the workplace. Now, the reason that this is so fundamental is because a lot of us have private practices, or a lot of us are working directly with patients, or maybe we're body workers. And now a lot of us have a great practice that we do, and we do great treatments when the patient comes in. We give them good advice. We take good care of our clients in our offices. But then what happens the second that the client leaves and they go back to their office? Can they still resist postural collapse when they leave your door and they go into their workspace? So when we talk about postural ergonomics, it's taking care of the client within their workspace where they're spending 40 hours per week. Remember, they're only spending about 1 hour per week or 1 hour per month, depending upon how often you see your clients in our office. But then they're spending 40 hours per week, multiply that by 4 over the course of a month within their office. So if we're not taking care of them within their workspace, if we're just focused on taking care of them in our workspace, we're missing a huge chunk of the puzzle. And these are going to be the patients or the clients that say, I feel great after the treatments, but it just keeps coming back. So one of the things that always bothered me in practice when working with clients is I would do great treatments with them. They'd stand up taller when they left, they felt good, but then 2 days later they'd come back and they'd have the same issue. So a lot of what we do, we focus on making changes in the brain, but we also focus on helping them change their themselves within their workspace. So how we can set them up for success within their workspace to help prevent these issues from coming back over time. Because if they keep coming back, if we understand that the root cause is an ergonomic issue and they go back into their workspace and they still have this exact same ergonomic issue, then it's no surprise that 2 days later when they come back in for their next treatment, they're going to have that pain again or that same problem, or they're going to say, you know what, this isn't working for me. So maybe they don't even come back at all, which of course is the worst thing there. That's ruined our retention from a practice management perspective. But in addition to that, the patient didn't get the care that they needed, and so they dropped off and we lost them there. So postural ergonomics is a great solution to help you with retention, to help you take care of your clients within their workspace, because the better results that they get, the more compliant that they're going to be, and the more enthusiastic they're going to be when they provide a referral on your behalf. So implementing postural ergonomics with what you're already doing is a very successful strategy. Now, you don't have to change a single thing that you're doing in practice currently, but you can add this on top of it to be that much more successful in terms of landing those corporate deals, which we're talking about today, but more successful in generating new patients in a way that makes sense to them, and also helping your clients have better results long term. So again, they're more compliant, they're not going to drop off, it helps us with retention, and they're going to have those enthusiastic referrals on your behalf. And they're going to enthusiastically, what's cool about a postural ergonomic referral is that it may just be one of their colleagues and you get one more client from it, but it might be that one of your current clients makes that referral on your behalf to their HR manager, and they happen to work at a corporation with 200 other employees. So recognize that a postural ergonomic referral is that much more meaningful for you and for your practice, and of course for your community. So when you can have these evangelistic, these excited clients on your behalf making those referrals, recognize that a postural ergonomic referral can go a lot further than maybe just a standard referral that we're going to get from one of our clients that we've been seeing, for health coaching, or that we've been taking care of with treatments of their spine, for example. So recognize how important that can be for you. So one of the things that is interesting about ergonomics is, again, we all know it's completely important. None of us would ever say it's not. You guys showed up here today because you want to learn more about it. You're in agreement that ergonomics is fundamental. But what's so interesting is how we've been failed with traditional ergonomic education. So we all say, yes, ergonomics is important. Yes, I want to know more. But then traditionally, when we've learned more about ergonomics, we all went to sleep because it was so boring, right? So where that failed you previously, and how we're going to turn that and flip it around to make you guys very successful, is that traditional ergonomic education focused on furniture first. They didn't focus on people. So that entire education for ergonomics previously was all about equipment. It was all about the environment. It was all about furniture. And if you're anything like me, you love working with people. You got into this healthcare profession to help heal individuals. That's where we really thrive. That's what gets us excited. That's our why. That's why we wake up in the morning. And so learning a bunch of things about furniture is just exciting to us. And so where we've seen that that's a failed system is because it's just focusing on the furniture, it's just focusing on the workspace, it's just focusing on the environment, and there's no attention towards the actual individual within their workspace. So how we flip this around with the American Posture Institute is we're saying that you don't even need to change anything about what you're currently doing in practice, but what we want you to do is we want you to open your mind to also consider how much better you can take care of your client within their workspace with postural ergonomics. So we have a 4-component system with postural ergonomics, and these 4 components, the first 3 are all about the human being, all about the individual within their workspace. People first, furniture second. People first, furniture second. So the first 3 components are all about the individual, the person thriving within their workspace. And if you guys are like me, again, you're getting excited about that, because that is why we got into healthcare, is to help people thrive and heal, have better productivity, better energy, be pain-free, free to thrive within their environment. I know that wakes me up in the morning and gets me excited and fueled up, ready to help people. So components 1 through 3 are all about the person. And then with traditional ergonomics, which is all about the furniture and the environment, we don't neglect the importance of that, but we just put that as component number 4, right? So we focus on the person first within their workspace, and then component number 4 is environmental. What we're going to do is help make the best recommendations possible for that furniture that is important, but we're going to focus on the person first, and then we're going to focus on giving them great ergonomic recommendations to help support good function, good posture, and good cognitive capabilities within their workspace. So then those 4 components of postural ergonomics from the American Posture Institute's perspective is this. Number 1 is functional. Functional is how the human being functions within their workspace. So an example of this is, can you perform your functional movement, your humanistic functional movements within your workspace? For example, if you cannot perform a squat within your workspace because you're limited, because every time you squat down, you hit your shin on the desk, or every time you raise up from a squat, you're going to hit your head on a shelf above you. So what we recognize is that individual has an inability to perform their human movement, their functional capability is decreased because of their workspace around them. So what we want to do is we want to improve their ability to have better function within their workspace. So we're looking at their ability to perform functional movements in their workspace, number 1. Because if they can't do that, then what are they going to do instead of a squat, which we know is a good lifting habit? Then they're going to bend forward in a flexor dominant posture. And we know that over time, give it a few repetitions, they're going to be coming in with a herniated disc, for example, or maybe neck pain or back pain, whatever it is, they're going to come in with that pain. So we can prevent that by having good function in the workspace. So component number 1 is functional. Number 2 is postural. So postural means, can they resist postural collapse within their workspace? Meaning I stand up straight after my treatment in my, in our office, but then when they go into their workspace, or even when they get in their car, do they go right back into a postural collapse? When they sit down at their workspace, do they go right into a postural collapse and they're back in tech neck posture? They have that postural hyperkyphosis. If they cannot prevent that in their workspace, if they do not have the postural fitness to prevent postural collapse, that human being is functioning at a lower level of human capacity within their workspace. Now imagine how that's affecting them. Yes, it's affecting their posture, the structural framework of their body, but how is that affecting their productivity? How is that affecting their energy levels? Is it leading to pain? Likely it is. So this person, and they have less confidence. I could go on for days about how poorly they're functioning because of that poor posture if they experience postural collapse within their workspace. When we think about people first, then it ignites us with energy to say, I really want to give the best postural ergonomic advice. And then component number 3 is brain-based. Now, what's so cool about brain-based is we actually look at cognitive function within the workspace. So not only do we want them to be able to perform human functional movements, not only do we want them to resist postural collapse, but we want them to be set up so successfully that they have the most productive, attention-focused, goal-oriented activities that they perform by preventing neural fatigue. So we're looking at their brain-based functions within their workspace so that we can help them have good cognitive outputs and prevent neural fatigue. All right. So then the 4th component of postural ergonomics is environmental. So at which point we say, okay, we focused on the individual first. We're fired up about that. We're going to give the best recommendations at that person in their workspace. And then number 4 is, let's also recommend great ergonomic equipment to them that helps them be successful in having better function, in resisting postural collapse, and having better cognitive capabilities with brain-based ergonomics. So that's postural ergonomics in a nutshell. And I just want to, again, thank you guys for being here, because you guys are showing up. You are ready to learn more, and you want to have this information in a way that sets you up. And what's so cool is you guys have a huge market gap that you can fulfill. So we understand that postural ergonomics is 100% a blue ocean market opportunity. So we know that when we have that postural ergonomic education, we're helping the individual thrive within their workspace. But what we also recognize from a business perspective is our ability to make a huge impact on our community. Now, recognize that this is a completely wide open gap, because traditional ergonomics focuses just on furniture. So they're going into a corporation just talking about the furniture they should have. And if you're an HR director, then this is less exciting to you. This is kind of the glaze over effect like we had with traditional ergonomic education too, right? It's kind of the glaze over, like, yeah, I'm sure it's important to have, an ergonomic chair and ergonomic desk, but what really am I getting from that? Like, what's the why behind it? Why should I invest all this money in redoing my workspace if, what's the why behind it? How is it going to help the employees individually? How's it going to help the corporation overall? So I wanted to share with you guys some research. I'm going to put up a PowerPoint slide right now with a bunch of research studies, because I want you to understand too, this is an evidence-based approach. So this is not my opinion. This is an evidence-based approach that the corporations need you. So we're going to go through a couple of research studies right now, and then we're going to bring it right back to those strategies of getting your foot in the door. But I want you to know first that it is an evidence-based approach to get you in the door with these corporations. So I'm just going to share my my PowerPoint here. Now, the reason I put this into a PowerPoint, because you guys always want those research studies, and I don't blame you. I do too. I spend a lot of time doing research. I love research, and a lot of us, we want to have that in our knowledge base. So I've put all of the information on the research slides, so that after this presentation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this in the Postural Ergonomics Facebook group. So Sarah's going to post a link for you guys to join the Postural Ergonomics Facebook group. You can join it for free, and in there is going to be waiting for you this PowerPoint slide with all of this information to help arm you within your knowledge base of research. So when you approach these corporations, you know that what you're doing is evidence-based. All right, so the first research study I want to go through with you is from OSHA. Now, OSHA actually estimates that work-related musculoskeletal disorders in the United States accounts for over 600,000 injuries and illnesses. 600,000. This is 34% of all lost work days reported to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So musculoskeletal disorders, you guys, these are the people you see every single day. These are the neck pain, back pain people. These are the carpal tunnel people. 34% of all lost work days reported are due to musculoskeletal issues. You guys are great at preventing musculoskeletal issues. Now let's get you in the door so that you can help those corporations. Number 2 is work-related musculoskeletal conditions are a costly problem. These disorders actually account for 1 out of every $3 spent on workers' compensation. So 1 of every $3 is dedicated for workers' compensation right back to musculoskeletal disorders. Now, you guys have the magic to take care of these musculoskeletal disorders. Let's get you in front of more corporations to help them and, of course, help you with your business. The next thing says it's estimated that employers spend as much as $20 billion a year on direct cost for musculoskeletal-related workers' compensation, and up to 5 times that much more for indirect costs, such as associated with hiring and training new employees. Whoa, $20 billion a year, $20 billion a year on direct cost for musculoskeletal related workers' compensation issues, and 5 times that in indirect cost with time lost at work, decreased productivity, hiring and training replacement workers. This is a massive, massive, massive opportunity, you guys. $20 billion a year that you can help reduce by providing really great postural ergonomic education to your community. This was a research study. This was done in 2003, and it was called Work-Related Ergonomic Injury Programs Prevent Injuries. So the work injury prevention programs have been developed and implemented as a means to reduce costs associated with employee injuries. Positive outcomes were associated with programs that had high compliance and that used job-specific education and training approaches. So what I love about this is that we understand it's not one size fits all. Now, so many of us, and I'm guilty of this too, I'm talking to myself when I say this, and if you can connect with it, you let me know. In practice, people would ask me things about ergonomics, and I would give them such a generic answer, right? Such a generic answer. Like everybody would get the exact same information. I had these old school handouts that I would hand to them with old school information. Now, what this is saying is that we can be extremely effective in reducing ergonomic injury and preventing injuries when we have good compliance, because we're using job-specific education and training approaches, meaning we're making it very specific to that individual within their workspace, making it very specific to that corporation that we're taking care of. One size does not fit all when it comes to postural ergonomics. Let's get specific. And if you don't want to get specific, go back to the old means, which is handing out those old school documents, your patients, that give them some really basic recommendations that they're not going to take anyway. Let's be better than that, and let's give very job-specific education and high training approaches. Next research study says that return on investment of 179% with back injury prevention, 179% ROI. So back-related injuries have become a major health problem in the workplace, affecting as many as 35% of the workforce and accounting for about 25% of all compensation claims. Now, this study evaluated a back injury program on employees specifically in California, but we can apply this to other states as well. And what they found is that cost-benefit analysis showed the net benefit of introducing a back injury program was $161,000, and the ROI was 179%. So if we can get in there and we can do these back injury prevention programs specific to that occupation, again, not one size fits all, we need to have that education to make this very specific, then we can have an ROI of 179%. Who's going to say no to that? I mean, if you could show that you can give an ROI of 179%, the corporations are going to say, yes, please, when can we set up your on-site evaluation? And then the last one here says a 5-year follow-up shows less injuries and lost work days. 18 months after ergonomic interventions, the back and shoulder injuries were reduced, and the lost work days and restricted transitional days were decreased. 5 years after the implementation, the back and shoulder injuries continued to decrease, as well as the lost work days and restricted days. Whoa, jackpot, get excited. You guys got to download this information in the Postural Ergonomics Facebook group, because what I just told you is that when you do a back pain intervention, a back injury intervention, we can have an ROI of 179%. And then a 5-year follow-up showing less injuries and lost work days, meaning that you do the intervention, and over time, if you do it right, if you do a great intervention, not only right then are they going to have that ROI, but over the course of the next 5 years, that corporation is still going to see a decrease in upper quadrant pain and shoulder injuries and decreased lost work days and restricted days of work. So this is huge information, you guys. This is a huge market opportunity for you. And I just want to let you know how excited I am to share this. The more people that we have out there sharing this information, the greater impact that we can make on our communities at large. So this is huge. This is super exciting. So let's talk about how we're going to get you in the door. We know that we need to get you in the door. We understand the research is like it's staring us in the face. We also understand that traditional ergonomic education is so boring that you're glazed over. The HR directors are glazed over, so nobody is making an impact. It's up to you now to step up. So in preparation for some of the research that we've done, we actually did interviews with 100 HR directors. So HR is human resource, right? And the human resource directors are the people within large corporations who most of the time make the decisions of what's going to be happening within corporate wellness. So I wanted to tap into the mind of those HR directors. I wanted to understand everything about their mentality, everything about their psyche. And then what I wanted to do, I don't want to keep that information myself because I care so much about our society at large. So I want to share that information directly to you. So you don't have to take the time doing the interviews. Just take this information and really swallow it and own it and be ready to just step up and understand what they want and deliver it to them. So here's what we found. After interviewing 100 HR directors, I got them on the phone and I said, okay, let me ask you a few questions. I said, if you understood, if I could show you through research that that poor posture and poor ergonomic design decreases function, leads to early mortality, and can cause sitting disease, would this be something that you would want to fix for your employees? 100% said absolutely yes. Okay, 100%. 100% said yes, I'm interested. I want to help my employees. And then I said, okay, so if I call up and I say I'm a chiropractor, personal trainer, physical therapist, or wellness coach, would you have me come in and do an ergonomic assessment? Gut check moment, 100% said no. Why did they say no? They didn't say no because they didn't want it. They said no because they were worried I would go in and sell them something if I was a chiropractor, personal trainer, physical therapist, occupational therapist, you name it. So if I'm going in, if I own an individual practice and I'm going in there, they're worried that I am going to utilize that platform to sell them something. So they recognized the importance. 100% said, yes, I want to help my employees. 100% said, no, I wouldn't let you do it. And then I said, what if I called up and I said, I'm a certified ergonomist and would like to do an on-site evaluation of your workspace. Would you say yes? 100% said yes. That's it. That is the secret. 100% said yes. So again, we understand that they want it. 100% said they want it. They want to help their employees. 100% said, no, I'm not going to let these healthcare professionals in because I'm worried that they're going to stand up there and sell to my people. But then a certified ergonomist 100% said, yes, we're going to open the door for you. We're going to invite you in and set up that on-site ergonomic evaluation. I mean, this was across all industries too. Like I talked to one of the largest gold and silver mines in the country, maybe even the world, and they have a huge budget for corporate for corporate wellness, and they have no ergonomic intervention, which is crazy, right? I mean, it's so crazy because these are miners, these are laborious workers. And what they said to me is, I mean, by the time I got off the call and I talked about this postural ergonomics program, they were ready to they wanted to change everything that they were doing to implement postural ergonomics when I talked to them about the certified ergonomist training. And it's so cool to see that. And I know you guys are going to get this exact same result. So what can we do then if we understand what it is that these HR directors want? How can we position you in front of them in a way that makes sense to them, provides what they want so that they look good to their bosses, right? Because they have a higher up and they're being evaluated. They have these performance evaluations that they need to meet too, meaning that they can't put the wrong person in front of their employees. If they do, who looks bad? They look bad. So they're doing everything that they can to have a high performance evaluation. So if we understand what they want, if we understand their psyche, then we understand how we can put you in front of them in a way that makes them look good, because when they look good, they're going to invite you back. And when they look good, they're going to refer you to other local corporations. And when we understand what they want, the answer is going to be a simple yes every time. In fact, it's a no-brainer yes. It's so easy for them to say yes if it can help them, help their employees have better productivity, prevent days lost at work, prevent low productivity, help them increase energy, and just be more efficient all around. So I want to share with you guys my top 3 strategies to get you in the door with local businesses and corporations. And I know you guys are excited about it because that's why you're here. Right. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So strategy number 1 to land big corporate deals, and this works, is becoming a certified ergonomist. So I told you we did the research. We asked those HR directors, we said, what do you want? Are you going to say yes? Or are you going to say no if a certified ergonomist calls you on the phone? And 100% of them, all day, every day, said absolutely yes. And the cool thing is, I just want to reiterate that this was across all different industries. So if your town, my hometown, we have a lot of mines. So for me, that would be very important, knowing that the mine said yes. But then we also talk to people who do licensing for insurance companies, for example, who have over 70 seated desk workers in their corporation. And they said yes to a certified ergonomist. They said no to the other healthcare professionals because they were worried that they would get sold to, that their employees would be set up for a big sales pitch. So let's position you in a way that makes sense to them, makes them look good, and provides you with your opportunity to get in the door. So becoming a certified ergonomist is the solution. Now you're at this point, you're going, oh, that doesn't sound so fun, because you're thinking traditional ergonomic education. And I don't blame you, because I've done a ton of certifications in ergonomics, and they were really boring, and none of them made me an expert, first of all. So what I had to do is I had to do a bunch of research on my own. I had to put together these systems. I had to test them. I've tested all of this stuff, you guys. We've been in so many different corporations. And here's the thing, is that I don't want you to have to go through what I did. So at the American Posture Institute, we've created a certified ergonomist program. Now, it's not available right this second, but pretty soon we're going to be opening enrollment. And so I want you guys to stay on top of that, because if you implement strategy number 1 of becoming a certified ergonomist, you are going to land those corporate deals every single time. Okay, so that's strategy number 1. Strategy number 2 that I want you to think about, that you guys can start doing this afternoon in practice, is utilizing your champions. So this is going to be an internal strategy. We're going to talk about an internal strategy right now, and then an external strategy. So utilize your champions. What I want you to do, and you can do this again this afternoon, is identify the champions that are currently in your practice. Who are your raving fans, right? Who are the ones that never skip appointments? Who are the ones who do everything you say, who come to every event you've ever planned? Who are your champions? Identify those. And then what I want you to do is I want you to have your champion take 4 pictures within their workspace. So these 4 pictures are going to be this. It's going to be 2 with them in it and 2 of just their workspace. So the 2 pictures with them in it is going to show them in their workspace, and we're going to see them from the front, from the anterior perspective, and from the lateral perspective, okay? We want to get those 2 images. And then we want to get images of just their workspace, anterior and lateral images. And then you're going to ask your champion to bring in those four pictures, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to perform a virtual workspace assessment with those images. You're going to look at the images, you're going to look at the person within their workspace, and then look at the individual workspace, and then you're going to make recommendations and put it together in a report. So maybe your champion's name is Mary. So Mary goes to work this afternoon. She takes 4 images. And then tomorrow when she comes in for her treatment, she has those images for you. What you're going to do is you're going to create a report around those images, giving your best postural ergonomic advice. And then you're going to ask Mary, first of all, you've just helped Mary. So you've just made, Mary was already a champion, but you've just made her an uber champion because you're taking care of Mary within her workspace. So Mary is grateful. And because you have done this for free, you're utilizing your champion, you're giving them this free virtual workspace assessment. Now Mary has that feeling of reciprocity. So you've just added tremendous value to her in her life. So what's Mary going to do? We're going to tell her, we're going to let her know that, Mary, we were happy to do this for you. You're one of our best clients. Now what I want you to do is I want you to show these images and show this report to your HR director and let me know what they say, right? So now you're sending Mary in with images of her workspace so that the HR director knows that it's very specific to their workspace. And then you're going to have Mary, show them the report. Look at all this great information that I was given of how I can improve my postural ergonomics, how I can have better function, better posture, better brain base, better cognitive capability, and of course, how I can increase and improve my environmental workspace. So Mary shows that report to the HR director. HR director gets very excited. And then, because Mary's a champion, we have already collected the HR director's name and phone number. And after Mary talks with them, then you're going to follow up with a call. So you or your assistant can follow up with a call. Now, if your assistant calls, then what we want to do is we want to say, Mary's a valued client in our practice, and we had the opportunity of providing these recommendations to Mary, which Mary, highly appreciated. She's implementing, she's doing great. We would love the opportunity of providing these similar recommendations to all the other employees within your workspace, within your corporation, at which point now you've opened the door to perform an on-site ergonomic evaluation. Okay, see how simple that is? So strategy number 1, become a certified ergonomist because it's an easy ask. Strategy number 2, utilize your champions. This is internal. So you identify your champion who already loves you. You give them a free virtual workspace assessment, and then you motivate that champion to go into their HR director and say, look at this great recommendation that I found, that I was given. I feel great in my workspace. I feel pain-free finally, for example. And then you're going to follow up with a call to get that on-site evaluation set up. Make sense? All right, and then strategy number 3 is niche packets. This is an external strategy. I have grown a large practice from niche packets, guys. This is a huge one. And I make this recommendation a lot, but a lot of people don't take it just because it requires a little bit of work. I want to motivate you guys to be the group that actually utilizes this strategy to get the incredible results that it can get. So how does this work? A niche packet, niche meaning a group, right? So you're going to identify what group of people you want to work with for postural ergonomic assessments. So a really good one is seated desk workers, right? So with the seated desk worker, but it could be anybody. I mean, do what works for you and the patients that you want to see. So with the seated desk workers, we're going to identify them for this example. So what we're going to do is we're going to identify all the businesses within our area that has seated desk workers. And then we're going to have our search criteria. So maybe we only want to go into corporations that have a minimum 50 employees, for example. You make that choice. So you identify all the seated desk workers in your community. You identify your top 20 choices that you then want to reach out to. Okay, so be selective because you're only going to reach out to 20 in the beginning, but then you're going to continue to follow up and it's going to go from 20 to 40 to 60 over time. So this is an ongoing strategy. This is not a one and done. This is an ongoing strategy that you're going to perfect. So what you're going to do is the top 20 that you've selected, you're going to send them a niche packet. What is in a niche packet? A niche packet is called a niche packet because it's it is completely 100% dedicated to that niche. We're never doing one size fits all recommendations. What we're doing is we're doing recommendations very specific to that niche. So for example, what we've done is we've done 4 desk stretches specific to them. So while seated at your desk, what are 4 stretches that you can do to prevent neck pain or back pain? Okay, very specific. You have images, this looks nice, you have it typed up, and it's put together in not a report, but a guide. It's put together in a guide for them. These are 4 stretches that you can do at your desk without even standing up that is going to help you prevent neck pain or back pain. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to give them a couple presents. So you're going to give them a TheraBand, for example. It doesn't have to be a TheraBand. This is just my recommendation to you because I know it works. So then we give them a TheraBand and we show them how they can utilize the TheraBand to, for example, do neck retractions and prevent forward head posture at their desk. Huge value, right? So we have the pictures, we're giving them the equipment that they need, plus we're giving them the verbiage written out of how to perform that exercise. And then we're going to give them posture reminders. So this can be whatever you want it to be, but my recommendation is bracelets and stickers. Okay, so those little bracelets that they wear that says check your posture. And then also giving them stickers and just say, listen, we want you to put this posture reminder at your desk. So we know you're a seated desk worker because that's we've targeted you, right? So we want you to put this sticker at your desk. Every time you see this sticker that says check your posture, then we want you to remember to sit up straight and have good posture throughout the rest of your workday. Okay, very useful, very valuable. And then we're going to do a research white paper specific to them. We're not going to tell them everything we know, but what we are going to do is tell them the main things that they need to know backed by research. Okay, we're going to do a white paper. It's just going to be a 1-page document, and it's going to have specifics directly to them, to seated desk workers, of how, for example, seated desk workers are the most prone to have back pain, and this is what's likely going to happen to you if you have back pain and if you're seated over time. Or with seated desk workers, you can make it all about sitting disease and how it's going to lead to early mortality. Okay, so you're going to do a 1-page document explaining the health risks of not having good postural ergonomics in the workspace. And then at the end, you're going to explain the benefits of having good postural ergonomics. We're not going to tell them everything we know, but what we are going to do is we're going to make a very specific 1-page document. And then we're also going to include a letter of introduction about you. So telling them more about you and your expertise. For example, if you're a certified ergonomist, which you can, become at the American Posture Institute, we're gonna list that. We're gonna make you, we're gonna introduce you so they know who to turn to for advice. Okay, so again, that niche packet, which we're sending to them, we're adding value first. What I love about this is we're sending them a valuable gift. Okay, we're not sending them junk. We're sending them an extremely valuable gift to help them live better and function better in their workspace. 4 desk stretches, a TheraBand, posture reminders, research white paper specific to them, their conditions, and a letter of introduction about you. See how simple that is? Sending this out to 20 local corporations. And then here's what we're going to do. We know when it gets delivered because we're going to track it. And then a couple of days after they've received it, we're going to follow up with calls. Okay? We're going to follow up and say, hi, Mrs. Jones, HR director, I wanted to be sure that you received the package that we sent to you. Do you have any questions about it? Okay, now you've opened the dialogue with Mrs. Jones, the HR director. And then by the end of that conversation, you're going to say, I'm so glad that you have enjoyed this gift. I'm so glad that you have found value in it. What I would love to do is set up an on-site ergonomic evaluation with your corporation so that we can get in there and have even more recommendations on behalf of your clients, on behalf of your employees. And then you can even reference the research white paper that you're providing to them. As you can see in paragraph 4 of the research white paper is that with having postural ergonomic interventions, we can actually prevent back pain. We can have an ROI of 179%. And in addition to that, over the course of 5 years, we're going to see a decline in days of work missed by your client, by your employees because of this intervention. Super simple, yes. And the best part about it, you didn't just cold call. You have a reason to call because you added value first with that niche packet. Cool? All right, guys. So I told you in the postural ergonomics this PowerPoint, so that's included on there too. I very intentionally put those research studies for you and then those 3 strategies so that when you join the Postural Ergonomics Facebook group, it's a no-brainer. You have that information there for you. Let's do a quick review of these strategies because I want you guys to be able to implement. Strategy number 1, become a certified ergonomist. We know that if we call an HR director, then they are going to say yes to a certified ergonomist. It makes sense to them. And when we understand their psyche, we don't even have to agree with it, right? But when we understand it, then we know we're setting ourselves up for success and we're going straight in with that corporation, that business. Number 2 is an internal strategy. Identify your champions and utilize them. Give them a free virtual workspace assessment and then send them back in straight to that HR director, showing the great report that you've given specific to that workspace, and then have them mention your champion, how beneficial this would be to everybody else within the company. And then you follow up with a call. This is a very warm lead, right? So this is not a cold call out of the blue. This is a very warm lead. Mary, your champion, has been championing you to the HR director. When you call, the HR director already knows who you are. They already know that you do great work. It's a very simple task. Okay. Strategy number 3, external. So we're gonna take it upon ourselves to identify a niche we want to work with. Seated desk workers, dentists, I mean, whatever it is. We've done this with dentists. It was really, really effective with dentists, but it's also very, very effective with seated desk workers. So identify who you want to work with, because those are the patients that are be coming in. So what you're going to do is you're going to put together a niche packet and you're going to send it to 20 local businesses. Start with 20, then do 40, then do 60. Keep this going. This should be a year-long strategy so that you're always setting up on-site evaluations, right? It's not a one and done. This is like, okay, 20 right now so we can set those ones up, and then 20 in 2 months down the road so we can set up more throughout our calendar. So this is an ongoing strategy, works fantastically. So the niche packet then is very specific to that niche. We're going to give them stretches and exercises to do at their desk. We're going to give them a TheraBand. We're going to give them posture reminders. We're going to give them the research of why that, back pain is, how we can prevent it and how we can have good solutions with it with postural ergonomics. And then we're going to do a letter of introduction about you. And then we're going to follow up with a call, because now we have a reason to call, because we've added value first. We've given away free value that was not generic. It was not one size fits all. It was very specific to them, and it was packaged appropriately, right? Like, I want you guys to put the time in this to package it so that it makes sense and so that it looks good, so that it's value provided. And then what you're going to do is you're going to follow up with a call, and then it makes sense to then end the conversation by setting up that on-site ergonomic evaluation. 3 strategies that are proven, that work to get you in the door. All right, guys, so we are about to wrap it up. What I want to do is I want to open it up for questions. But before we wrap it up, guys, it's National Ergonomics Awareness Month. So you guys have stepped up. You're here on this webinar live. Let's put this stuff in action, right? No time better than the present to start implementing. If you sent out 20 niche packets next week, and then you make this about National Ergonomics Awareness Month, what a great opportunity that you have, right? Talk about perfect timing. No time better than the present. And so this is a fantastic opportunity. So I want to give you guys a couple calls to action. Number 1, join the Postural Ergonomics Facebook group. Again, you're going to have this PowerPoint waiting for you in the Postural Ergonomics Facebook group. In addition to that, you guys are going to get all the notifications when we have, new trainings coming out. We do live trainings. Any questions you have, I am 100% here for you, okay? In that group, Postural Ergonomics. Let's keep the conversation going. What I don't want to happen is that all of you guys showed up to this webinar, you wanted to learn something, you did, and then nothing happened, right? Especially when it's National Ergonomics Awareness Month. Talk about an opportunity. This is the perfect time to step up and take action. So let's keep that conversation going in the Postural Ergonomics Facebook group, okay? Number 2 is check your emails, because you have a present waiting for you in your email. Now, this present is it's a bundle, right? It's a marketing bundle that you can use for education to your current clients, plus that you can utilize on social media to send it out, and so that we can start getting more awareness of National Ergonomics Awareness Month. So how cool is that? Check your emails, because I think it was sent out either today or yesterday. So check it. Anyway, it's coming to you. Check your email. You're going to get a free bundle in your email, in the mail, which just provides you with more information to utilize. So you have the information that you learned on the webinar. Now you're going to get a bundle in the mail that gives you social media posts, that gives you patient education information, that gives you stuff that you can print off, that you can send out on social. Done for you. How cool is that? Okay. So number 1, join the Facebook group. Number 2, check your email. And number 3, I want you to check your email for another email that's coming your way tomorrow. And this is the Virtual Ergonomics Summit. So we had the opportunity of collaborating with the top minds in ergonomics. And I think there was about 15 speakers or so. And what we did is we all did a presentation on ergonomics. So this Virtual Ergonomic Summit is jam packed with value, jam-packed. And because it's National Ergonomics Awareness Month, what we want to do is we want to give you a tremendous discount. So we're going to discount it by 85%, and you guys can actually get this virtual ergonomics summit for just $50. So that is coming your way tomorrow in your email. So get excited for that. Be sure to check it. Be sure to snag it up. In light of Ergonomics Awareness Month, we want to give you guys presents. So we're going to give you that free bundle that you can utilize for marketing purposes. Plus, we're going to give you 85% off. It's a no-brainer for the virtual ergonomics summit. And I just want to reiterate, I know we've collaborated with the top minds on ergonomics. So you want this information. Keep the ball rolling, right? You came here to this webinar. You learned great information. You're going to join us in the Postural Ergonomics Facebook group. We're going to keep the conversation going. You're going to utilize the free materials we're sending you to put on social and give to your clients to start the conversation about postural ergonomics. And then you're going to get this ergonomics summit, the virtual ergonomics summit, just $50. Absolute no-brainer to tap into top minds in the ergonomic industry. So I just want to reward you guys for taking action and being here. So I want you guys to check your email for those things that are coming your way. All right. Okay, guys, let's open it up for question. I can see a bunch of chatter happening over here in the comment box. Sarah gave link to the Postural Ergonomics Facebook group. Thanks, guys. You can just click it straight there and join instantly. Lynette says, I haven't received an email. Is there a place where I can update my email address? So, Lynette, thank you for saying that, because you know what? Sometimes those emails go directly to the spam box or the junk email. What I want you to do is check those first. If you see the email in there, then mark us that we're not spam, that we're sending you gifts, we're sending you value, and then it'll go directly to your inbox. Lynette, after you check your spam box, if it's still not there, what I want you to do is I want you to send an email to api@americanposturinstitute.com. Sarah's 2 steps ahead of me. She just posted that, and let us know that you did not receive it, because that provides information to us that you didn't get the email, that something happened in cyberspace, and we want to make sure you get the value. So we'll follow up and send that to you directly, okay? But do me a favor and check your junk email first, because it might be just sitting in that spam box or promotions. We're not promoting anything. We're giving you free value. We want you to take advantage of that, okay? So if you mark us not as spam, then that's going to go directly to your inbox. All right, guys, what questions do you have? Comment, give me some feedback here. Are you guys going to implement this stuff? Are you going to make, step up? And in light of National Ergonomics Awareness Month, are you going to, implement this stuff so you can get your foot in the door? And any questions that you have, we have a little bit of time right now. Then you guys are going to go back into your workspace this afternoon. Again, I want to motivate you and inspire you to take action on this stuff. Okay. Lynette says, thank you. Linda says, great question, Rick. I missed that. Let me go back to Rick's question after I get to Linda, which says, Dr. Krista, how much income can a person make by doing this if the initial evaluations are free for all of them? Oh, no, they're not free. So good. I'm glad you brought that up, Linda. You're not doing free ergonomic assessments. Absolutely not. What you're doing is, for example, when you're utilizing your champions, you're giving them one free virtual workspace assessment to then send Mary in ready to give you a referral. But then you're going to charge, you can make that choice yourself. I recommend charging between $2,000 and $5,000 for every on-site ergonomic evaluation that you perform. Okay. And then what's cool about this too is this is a win-win, because you're charging for your time on site. But in addition to that, a lot of those employees are then going to become your clients to follow-up care. So it's a huge win there. Okay. We're not doing anything for free. When you have that expertise, when you're a certified ergonomist, which we can help you with at the American Posture Institute, then you certainly need to charge for your expertise, because you're providing a high value that they need, okay? And then you say, how much can you make? Well, this is completely up to you and how active you are in landing those corporate deals, right? So I wouldn't just be sitting back on my heels saying, okay, where are they? I'm waiting for these corporations to call. What I would do is I'd be very proactive. I would implement the 3 strategies that I gave you, and then you can have those set up. And again, with those niche packets, right? You can, this is like a year-long promotion calendar. This is not just a one and done. This is something you can do 20 businesses this month, 20 businesses the next month. You space it out according to you. Now, one of the things that we're going to teach you in the Certified Ergonomist course too, which I didn't talk about today, it's called Virtual Workspace Assessments. What I love about this is that you don't even have to go on site. So we charge, you can put this through your filter of what you want to charge, but what we do is a $500 value. And so you can do a virtual workspace assessment from anywhere. Meaning you can do this over the weekend, or if you go on vacation, you want to take one morning of your vacation and do these virtual workspace assessments. Each one that you do is, maybe it's paying for your vacation. But the cool thing about it is that you're helping your community. So it gives you the freedom to choose when and where you want to work and how much income you want to make exponentially. So really great options there. Thanks for that question, Linda. All right, Wilmer asked, the picture showing on your webinar is the most common cervical problem of people I see. Yes, absolutely. Hypertonic, and I'm always educating the public about good posture so that they can advise them. Let's see. So what would be your advice to help them reverse this dysfunctional posture? All right, Wilmer, you have it spotted. You're talking about tech neck posture. You're talking about forward head posture and postural hyperkyphosis. I am so glad you asked this question because I could go on for days about this. So the reason I have this poster is because when we talk about this with our clients, then we're actually educating them of how they can reverse it. So let's keep this answer specific to our seated desk workers, because then you can put it together in your niche packet. So the best thing that you can do is a 3-approach strategy, which is spinal alignment, posture rehabilitation, posture habit re-education. So the alignment they're going to come into you for. The rehabilitation, neck retractions is really important. Also, you can do posture angels. Okay, where you stand against the wall and do a posture angel. I just did a video about this too. We'll post it in the postural ergonomics group so that you can see it. It was just about tech neck and everything about this. So Wilmer, I want you to join the postural ergonomics Facebook group. We're going to post a video for you. Anyways, doing neck retractions, doing posture angels, 2 really important rehab strategies. And then in addition to that, you got to give them into posture habit re-education. So send them posture reminders so that while they're working, they're reminded not to go into a postural collapse. Okay, we got to bring it into their conscious attention ongoing so we can create a new habit loop around it. Okay, so again, doing neck retractions, posture angels, but posture habit re-education, bringing that monitor up to eye level so that you're not constantly looking down, and then having that reminder in place to reverse gravity so that you look up instead of looking down because gravity pulls down on our body, and then to do that over time. Okay. All right, Rick asked, what do you recommend charging? Okay, cool. We went through what to charge for a fee. Thanks for asking that, Rick. Great question. Jonathan, I'd assumed we'd charge for the evaluations, okay, after the free information. Yes, just wasn't sure how much. I had been thinking I'd give discounts for every 15 to 20 employees. Jonathan, that's a great strategy. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely do that too. You could identify how many employees there are and then decide your price point that way. What I like to do is I like to just do a set fee, right? So it's not like you're giving a certain discount to somebody. It's you have a set fee, right? And then you're charging for your expertise to go in and do that on-site ergonomic evaluation. But you can definitely do that too. That's a great recommendation from Jonathan. All right, Marco says, will there be a replay link for the detained? Yes, Marco, there is absolutely a replay link, no problem. Yes, Sarah's on top of that. Okay, Jonathan, are you assessing the facility for 2,000 to 5,000? Yes, or individuals per workspace. I was thinking around $100 per person, but I'm open to what works and actually gets reimbursed. So Jonathan, we do this cash. I want to be completely clear. You can see if it gets reimbursed with insurance. I'm going to allow you to look that up, but we do this cash. But here's the thing that we do is we don't charge per person, and you can. You keep in mind that you definitely can, but we do look at individual people. So we're doing an on-site ergonomic evaluation of the environment of the workspace. But also, we're doing what's called the ergo scan with every individual employee. So the ergo scan, I taught you guys about the 4 postural ergonomic components. So the last thing that I want to do is I just want to focus on the workspace. I want to focus on the people in the workspace. So we're doing an on-site evaluation to check the workspace, but also check the people within their workspace. We do what's called an ergo scan. Ergo scan takes about 1 minute per employee. Well, 1 to 3 minutes, depending upon how fast you are. So allow 3 minutes at the beginning. And then you're going to evaluate functional, postural, and brain-based of each individual employee. You're going to have checklists that we give you in the Certified Ergonomist program. So you're going to check it off. And then in addition to that, so you're going to do an ergo scan on every single employee. You're going to have a checklist to make this super easy and efficient. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go home and you've done an on-site evaluation. You've done the ergo scan of each employee. Then you're going to create a report. Okay, and the report is going to have recommendations to each individual employee of what they need to do. So for example, Wilmer was asking about, forward head posture and postural hyperkyphosis. The people who have that, which is going to be a lot of them, then we're going to give them specific exercises that they can do in the workspace to reverse that. okay, reverse posture exercises. And then we're going to give overall recommendations of how they can improve the environment with certain things for brain-based, certain things for posture, certain things for function, and of course, the furniture that they should have to support good function, good posture, and good cognitive capabilities. Does that make sense? So Jonathan, we are working individually with people doing the ergo scan, and we'll teach you how to do that in the Certified Ergonomist program, which we're opening enrollment in a couple weeks, so get excited about that. And then in addition to that, we're looking at the overall workspace. Okay, Jen says, where can we get your poster behind you? Sarah, if you have access to that, I know you're listening. Sarah's one of our team members at the American Posture Institute. If you have access to that link, can you post it for Jen? If not, Jen will post it in the Postural Ergonomics Facebook group, okay? Mike, where can we get that ergo checklist that you described? Mike, that's all in the Certified Ergonomist program. We're going to be opening enrollment into that program in a couple of weeks. We just, in light of Ergonomics Awareness Month, we wanted to make sure that we got this information out to you via webinars right now. But if you are interested in joining the Certified Ergonomist program, all of that is there for you. So what's cool is you're going to get a checklist. Plus, what we're going to do is we're going to give you a template for reports. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to come up with the report yourself. All you need to do is plug in your findings, and then it's copy and paste, done, right? So now you've charged for your expertise, and then that report is super simple to put together. We're going to give you all the things that you need to be successful. Matthew, how long does it typically take you to prepare a report for an office of 20 workers? Matthew, I'm glad you just asked that question. So I was just talking to you about with the Certified Ergonomist program, we actually give you those templates for each of the reports. So it's going to take me, let's see, at the beginning, it's probably going to take me 30 minutes to go through everything and make the report. After that, probably 15 minutes. So it's really easy, but the reason it's simple is not because we're not having good attention to detail. It's because we have the knowledge base first, we have an efficient system with the checklist, and then the template report, right? So if you're reinventing this every time you go in, this is going to take you hours. But if you just have the done for you system, but you have the knowledge on top of it, so the knowledge plus the done for you system, then it's going to take you about 30 minutes, I would say. So it's not something that's going to take forever because you already have all of that done for you. And we're going to provide that to you in the Certified Ergonomist program. Lynn says, what is the time commitment to ask the company per assessment for visit? That's a really good question, Lynn, and that kind of depends upon you. So it depends upon how efficiently you're going to go in there, right? So if you go in with a plan, if you go in with checklists, if you go in, how we do it and how we encourage our students in the Certified Ergonomist program to do it is that they go in with an environmental checklist and then with the ergo scan checklist. So ahead of time, the HR director has filled out a questionnaire. Okay, so they've filled out a very extensive questionnaire. Off the top of my head, there's like 40 questions. And so we know everything that we need to know going in about that corporation. So we have that information first from the questionnaire. Okay, we have that information, and then we're going to print out an environmental checklist, or you can put it on your iPad, either way, whatever works for you, and then you're going to mark things off. So you're not going in there wondering, okay, what should I do now? You're like, okay, here's my checklist. I'm looking for this, I'm ranking it, okay? And then I'm going to do the ergo scan on each individual people. I have, say there's 20 employees, I have 21, just to be safe, ergo scan papers ready for me on a clipboard, and I'm marking it off so I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and get that done quickly. So if you go in with a plan, you're just going to spend, I would say, 2 hours in the workspace. Okay, so go in with a plan. If not, you're gonna get home and you're gonna think, oh, I forgot to even look about this, or what about that? I don't even know. So go in with a plan. Have the questionnaire done first. Go in with your checklist of what to check for. Go in with your ergo scan checklist, and then you can see those quickly with each individual employee. Cool. And then, one thing that I love about our system too is we're going to give them a score. So we're actually going to score the company overall from 0 to 100 of where they are on that spectrum in terms of ergonomic efficiency. And so we're going to give them a score, and then within that report, and this is all in the report, and then within the report, we're going to say, okay, you're currently a 37 out of 100. We have a lot of recommendations for you. We're going to list them out. And then we're going to say, we're going to schedule a follow-up on-site evaluation 6 months later, for example. And then we're going to go back in 6 months, see what they've implemented, and then do another score so that we can compare. So we can say, what's really great is that we saw that initially you were a 37, but now we can see after you've taken these recommendations, your company's up to a 92, as an example, okay? So we can objectively measure that. We love objectivity. Okay, let's see. Jen says, what is the certification and what is the cost? Thank you for the value you provide on this webinar. Jen, thank you for being here on the webinar. It's funny, actually, so the Certified Ergonomist program is going to be opening up in 2 weeks. I think, actually, maybe it's more like 3 weeks. We're ahead of schedule. So Jen, stay in contact with us. We'll send you the information. But the reason we only open enrollment a couple times per year is because when we bring in new students, our number one core value is that your success is our priority. So we will only open enrollment certain times throughout the year so that we have the opportunity of saying, okay, we've just brought in new students. We want to give you 100% of our attention to make you successful. So we'll be opening that up in November. And essentially what it is the normal cost is $2,500, but during that open enrollment period, it's $997. So that's coming your way, I think mid-November. Okay, so get excited for that. Huge ROI. I mean, literally you do one on-site ergonomic evaluation, you've just paid for the Certified Ergonomist program double, right? I mean, if you do this one single time, that ROI it's huge. Okay, so you can learn a lot from that. And again, here's the thing: is you guys don't need to reinvent the wheel, right? I've gone into a bunch of corporations. I've interviewed 100 HR directors. I know what works, and I totally know what doesn't work too, right? Like I've been the person who showed up and wasn't really sure what to do, but I've also been the person who showed up with a very efficient plan and then had my template for reports and everything happen very quickly. And we provided extremely high value to our community, most importantly. Okay, so we want to set you up for success. You can do it all yourself, or we can, give you the program which has everything in there for you. Ian says, apart from the TheraBand, what else do you include in the postural work kit? So Ian, this is like 2 different questions. So the niche packet, the niche packet is going to be a letter of intro. It's going to be a research, just a 1-page. We're not giving them everything, just a 1-page research paper. We're going to give them a TheraBand. We're going to give them posture reminders and then exercises. Okay, that's the niche packet. For our clients, so we do 12 weeks to better posture for our clients, and that's going to be a different thing. So those posture kits, in the posture kits, we have posture cushions for them to sit on. We have TheraBands. We have head weights to reverse forward head posture. Again, going right back to this. Okay, we have head weights to reverse forward head posture. We have posture reminders, we have manuals, and we have DVDs, or you can send them videos too of all the exercises to do. Okay, so that's going to be a posture kit, which again is a posture cushion. It's going to be a TheraBand. It's going to be head weights, manual, and then the exercises. Cool. So if you guys have any more questions about posture kits, I don't want to harp on that too much here because that's kind of a different conversation. Just ask me in the Facebook group and I can go more into that. All right, Rick says, how about focusing on TechSNEC for schools, teachers, and health fairs? Rick, man, you are reading my mind here. That's awesome. Absolutely. TechNEC is we are talking, people are suffering from TechNEC. If you look around a school, you look around a meeting, you look around an airport, airports are frightening, right? If you look around anywhere and people are just in this posture looking like zombies. Yesterday was Halloween. If you guys saw the post, we were talking about zombie posture, right? When you're looking down at your cell phone, you have TechNEC and zombie posture. 100%. TechNEC is so important. So one of the things that we do too with the on-site ergonomic evaluations is we do the evaluation. I didn't mention this before. We do the report, but then we also go in and do a workshop. And the workshop that we do is on TechNEC and digital dementia. So I love where your mind is at, Rick, because there's tremendous value in that. We need to be having the conversation about TechNEC, but let's take it one step further beyond TechNEC. Let's recognize what this posture attached to technology is not just doing to our musculoskeletal system, which is TechNEC, but also then leading to digital dementia. And when we understand brain-based ergonomics, which we'll cover in the Certified Ergonomist program, then you have those solutions to reverse digital dementia, which is so freaking cool. It's cool because it's like just a massive health epidemic. Everywhere you look, people are just attached to their cell phones in TechNEC posture. Beyond what it's doing to our physical body, which is devastating enough, also what is it doing to our brain? So I totally didn't even think about this. Actually, with the Certified Ergonomist program, if you guys enroll in that, in November, we're also going to give you a done-for-you presentation on TechNEC and digital dementia. So massive win there. We want you guys educating the people about this. And of course, for schools, 100%, teachers, yes, absolutely. Health fairs, definitely. We're just going to give you that PowerPoint that's done for you, so you guys can go in with all the information that you need to set up that health talk. All right, guys, we're just about at an hour here. Sarah just posted the link to the Postural Ergonomics Facebook group. we are going to wrap it up right there. If you have any further questions, let's keep the conversation going. These are great questions you guys are asking. I'm loving it. I mean, you guys are reading my brain over here. Rick, Ian, Jonathan, Jen, Lynn, you guys are asking such good questions. I love that you're asking questions because it means that you want to take action and you want to get all that information. So thank you for your participation. Join us in the Postural Ergonomics Facebook group. Check your email for that free bundle that's coming your way so that you can just print off the information or share it on social, whatever works better for you. All that's there for you, absolutely 100% for free. Tomorrow, you're going to get an email about the Virtual Ergonomics Summit. The top minds in ergonomics from around the world are coming together for one summit, and we're going to give it to you for 85% off. Absolutely no brainer, $50, so that you can tap into those minds and get that information that you need. It's virtual ergonomics, it's Ergonomics Awareness Month. Take advantage right now of getting your foot in the door with those corporations. Linda, I like your Superwoman power pose. Thank you, Linda. So you guys know the importance of good posture. What if I was doing the presentation in this poor posture? How boring would that be, right? We want to have good power posture because it brings more energy, and we're just going to have let's face it here. When we have good posture, we have better productivity, we have more energy, we are more confident about ourselves. Speaking about ergonomics, I mean, when you go into that boardroom, if you are setting up to go in and do your ergonomic assessment, check yourself first. Make sure you go into a power pose because you want to walk in and be efficient and confident in the work that you're doing. So thank you for mentioning that, Linda. Lynn, great work. Thank you very much, Lynn. Thank you. All right, guys, check your emails. Join us on Facebook. Let's keep the conversation going. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful day. And remember, good ergonomic design helps prevent postural decline.